And in lesbian folklore, some of these bars are legendary. During World War II, a notorious lesbian, Bet van Buren, ran a famous pub for women. Men were welcome if they permitted Bet to trim their ties at the door. Inside, the walls are covered with cravats. Café Mancia was located in the historic red light district of Amsterdam, known as the Zeedijk. Bet was respected by pimps and cops alike, and affectionately known as the Queen of the Zeedijk. She was courageous and kind, giving shelter to those wanted by the Nazis and hiding arms for the resistance. Once a year, she threw a lavish party for the elderly in the neighborhood. The whole community attended. When Bet died, she was waked in the cafe on her favorite billiards table. The Salvation Army played her a last farewell while the others raised glasses in toasts to the memory of Queen of the Zeedijk. Although attendance at Bet's fell short soon after her death, the tradition she was part of continues. At the Honolulu, another lesbian-owned establishment accommodates the community, as lesbians enjoy their sexuality without fear in this openly gay city.
I think the homophobic attitude has to do a lot with fear. I think it is important that in a society there's an openness about sexuality at all, because homosexuals will profit from that. I think every country which suppresses sexuality as a whole, there they produce homophobic attitudes.
No matter where a gay woman lives, coming out is an act of courage. Until the 20th century, there was no language to describe this kind of love. The word lesbian was not recognized, and sex between women was thought of as inconceivable.
Well, when I first thought I was a lesbian, it was quite late in life because I didn't know the word. But very early in my life, I had a fascination for girls, for teachers, maybe even in kindergarten. It started being fascinated by women.
Wie das für mich war, das wusste ich schon immer. Das ist, so bin ich auf die Welt gekommen. Da könnte ich wetten. Also mein Interesse galt schon, also die ersten Erinnerungen sind mit 8 Jahren so massiv, dass ich mich für Frauen interessiert habe. Das merkte ich einfach daran, dass meine Freundin oder Spielgefährtin das alles ganz anders sahen.
I first realized that I was queer when I was about 12, and I was getting a lot of crushes on girls, and I was courting them. I wanted to put my arm around my best friend in the movie theater, that sort of thing. And I also, being a little bit precocious, I was bringing psychology books home. I read the psychology books, and they told me that it was a phase and that I would outgrow it when I was 15. When I was 15, I saw Shakespeare's play Midsummer Night's Dream, and for the first time in my life there was somebody on stage to identify with. That was the character Puck. When I saw it, which was completely androgynous, blend of male and female, just a gorgeous character. The fairy, the good fairy. So I instantly knew that that's who I was.
I was on the ballroom floor doing a rumba, and I looked around and this woman walked into the studio, and she was totally androgynous, extremely beautiful, had this enormous voice. I had never thought the word lesbian, never conceptualized the concept. It had never entered my mind. I was a perfect little heterosexual girl. And she walked in and she asked for a job, and the manager said, "Can you dance?" And she said yes, and he said, "Well, you know, let's see." And she walked out onto the dance floor, and instead of dancing with the man I was dancing with, she said, "May I cut in?" and stood in front of me and took me in her arms and danced me around the ballroom floor. I was totally impressed.
Nothing came easy. There were no easy access sexual experiences for a young woman like myself coming out. They were stolen moments with straight girlfriends who were pretending that they were just practicing to be with their boyfriend. Or they were being a young baby butch coming up against a street prostitute femme in the bar who was razor sharp in experience and having no idea how to approach her, having no idea what I was trying to negotiate with sex whatsoever.
Being a black woman coming out in the 50s meant coming out as a black woman. It meant coming out as a lesbian. It meant coming out as a human being. It meant insisting on myself as being a presence, as being not invisible. Not invisible as a fat, black, lesbian, activist, almost blind woman who didn't speak but thought a lot.